We're live in the KBOO studios with Shamrock Race Director Steve Hamilton of Hamilton Events, celebrating the 35th anniversary of the Shamrock Run this Sunday, a great Portland spectacle of costume and athletics. And I'm here with mainstream media reporter Angela Blessing, the first reporter of mainstream media. And Angela, you have some questions for Steve. Let me pass over the headphones here and you can get started, okay?
Okay, Steve, can you hear me now?
Actually, what can she come into my mic? I think I can move out of the way. There's a good solution.
Steve, can you hear me now?
Yes, that sounds fine, Angela.
Okay. So first off, I just want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk with you.
You're very welcome.
My first question is, can you please talk about the process of putting this event together and how far in advance do you have to start planning?
We'll start planning for 2014 on March 18th, the day after the race. But actually, we are already making notes for next year, as you can imagine. It's pretty much a year-round endeavor. It probably gets a little quiet a few months, April through July. But believe it or not, as we roll into the middle of the summer, we need to get our T-shirt order put together for Adidas and start through the permitting process and so forth with the city. So it keeps us pretty active, almost a good 9 months out of the year.
What is your favorite part of planning this race?
There's no question that the best part is race day and seeing, in this case, a record crowd, 35,000 participants, runners and walkers. It's the 35th anniversary for Shamrock. Very appropriately, it's on St. Patrick's Day. We haven't had Shamrock on St. Patrick's Day for 11 years. The last year was 2002. This year's race sold out the earliest that it ever had on the 6th of February. And again, the 35,000 participants is another record field for us.
Okay, another question is, are there any famous professional runners in this year's race?
No, this event really doesn't cater to what you might call the elite appearance fee-based athlete. Much more local and regional. We certainly have some very competitive runners, but no one that's really that high profile. Shamrock, per a directive from Adidas, does not pay appearance fees or even any travel and lodging for top athletes. There is gift certificates that go to the top 5 from one of our sponsors, Stanford's, but that's really the extent of, I guess, the compensation for top performances.
Okay, another question is, it must take many volunteers and companies being involved for this race to go smoothly. So talk about the support you get from the Portland community.
We'll have more than 700 volunteers working at Shamrock to help us put this event on. And they're not really volunteers in the true sense. Many are from organizations that are doing this as a fundraising opportunity. It could be anything from a travel softball team that's trying to raise funds to a high school band or track club. So much of youth athletics now at the high school level is pay for play. And we have several different schools representing at Shamrock with large groups, anywhere from 25 to 60 students and parents that'll be out there helping us. And at the same time, we in turn make a donation to their program in consideration for the enthusiasm and the folks that they bring down to help us put the race on.
Okay, Steve, I also have another question. In your past, with your father, did he encourage you to run when you were young? And did you have like an inspiration about this, like many years ago when you were a kid? Can you describe to me like what your life was like, growing up? Did you have anybody that encouraged you to do this, like run and that kind of thing?
Well, I played all 3 sports in high school. I went to David Douglas High School. I played college football at Washington State. My parents owned and operated an athletic equipment store. So as I was growing up, I was around sports. My dad, of course, was close to a lot of coaches. So athletics was a very big part of my life, but I didn't run track or cross country. I played football and played baseball. But I always had an interest in, I guess, doing something that would be community-based and that was fitness-oriented. When the Shamrock Run first started 35 years ago, I was much younger, obviously, and I was working at my parents' business, and we, at that time, required everyone to come in to the retail part of our store to sign up for Shamrock. The very first Shamrock Run had about 900 people. It was a 10K. It was run over in kind of the Progress area near Tigard in Washington Square, and didn't move downtown until year 3. And once we got it rolling, it really became more of an effort of, it was always important to us to have a media sponsor, and so Kink has been with us for 32 years, I should say. We're very fortunate to have Adidas with us. They're in their 16th year. The Dornbecker Children's Hospital Foundation has been our beneficiary also for 16 years. Widmer Brewing Company came aboard about 10 years ago, and we had a beer garden, sponsored obviously by Widmer Brothers. That made a big difference in attendance, not coincidentally, given that this event usually is around St. Patrick's Day. So quite a few factors have contributed to the success of this event over the years.
Wow, that's a lot. I also have another question. Can people do it individually, or do they have to be in groups or families in order to do the Shamrock Run?
It's really all individuals that register. We do have a team rate. If for some reason you want to be part of a large group or team, you do get a discount on the entry fee. And we have more than 800 teams. A minimum of 15 people are required for a team. The team captain gets a registration number that he or she passes out to anyone that wants to be on that person's particular team. And it really just is a slight entry fee discount. But you don't participate as a team in the sense of you're adding up different finish times to see who's the fastest team, like a cross-country event or something. Shamrock is such a people's race. You get a lot of companies that treat this as, I guess, kind of a fun extracurricular activity. But you'll see teams with members doing all 5 different events, because we have 3 different races, a 5-kilometer, an 8-kilometer, and a 15-kilometer. There's also a 5-kilometer fitness walk, and then there's a 1-kilometer run walk for kids age 10 and under.
What about the people with wheelchairs and people with more physical handicaps? Do you do any races with them, like in wheelchairs and people who can't run? What do you do with that?
There is a wheelchair competition. We don't get a lot of participants that choose to participate in the competitive side, but we do have several participants that often are assisted, riding in wheelchairs throughout the route. Many of those, of course, participating in the fitness walk. As far as other physically challenged folks that participate, again, they're welcome. And with 35,000 people, we can't always see them, but we learn later that they were there and that they had a good time. It is a very crowded and congested event, but I think in a good sense. You kind of get swept away in the course for that first mile. The next thing you know, you went out a little too fast. But that's all part of learning how to deal with participating in a big race.
In those races, does anybody ever pass out or get really hurt? And if so, what happens?
Well, fortunately, that's very unusual. And about the only thing we see is someone who maybe partied a little too hard the night before, and they get sick at the finish line, and that's kind of interesting. But fortunately, we've got ample water stations and aid stations along the route. American Medical Response, the AMR crew, patrols the event on bicycles. We also have several units strategically placed on the event. I think one of the things that helps us is that we're not in very hot weather, so we don't run into a situation of overheating. It's not too cold. It's pretty mild and temperate. Most of the people train adequately for the longer distance, the 15K, and realize that there's some hills and some challenges there. But fortunately, most people don't go too crazy, and we have been very fortunate that we have not had any serious injuries at Shamrock in 35 years.
Are you guys allowed to wear costumes and things like that for the races, or do we strictly have to wear like the Shamrock T-shirts?
Oh, no, although there's an awful lot of Shamrock T-shirts down there. It's a big sea of green. It's amazing the Irish garb that people choose to wear. One of the contests we're running this year is the Totally Portland Tutu Photo Contest. There's an awful lot of people that run this event wearing a tutu. So we're asking people to take photos of Shamrock participants, put it up on our Facebook wall or on Pinterest or Instagram, and we'll pick the best photo, and the person that has contributed that is going to be announced on 101.9 Kink on their morning show on Monday.
Can you give me one of your most favorite, goofiest, funniest, silly costumes that you remember that someone wore?
We see some we see some great ones. I'm trying. I don't know if I can actually pick out one of my favorites, but we did see I don't know if you've ever seen the Notre Dame Fighting Irish mascot. You know, it's this leprechaun just decked out head to toe, and someone went to a lot of trouble to replicate that costume. It was very authentic looking, and it had us fooled for a minute. We thought maybe the Fighting Irish mascot was actually participating, but that was pretty clever costume, not terribly original, but pretty clever that in all the trouble that they went to. We see an awful lot of people with orange Irish beards, all kinds of funny Irish hats. We've got a great picture on our website of these Shamrock. They look like sunglasses, and he's got a big green Irish hat on. So it's quite a spectacle. There's no costume contest per se other than the Totally Portland Tutu one, but there's an awful lot of people in all three distances that are definitely celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Well, Steve, it's been a pleasure to talk with you today, and I hope I get to have an opportunity to meet you sometime, and I will definitely be there on Sunday.
And I'll be at the starting area, Angela, so I'll be looking for you.
Oh, that would be an honor. So I have no other questions, but I just want to say thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to ask questions. And Todd here would like to ask you some questions too.
3, 2, 1, go. 10 seconds to the start of the 5K. Listen for the sound of the air horn. The 2013 Adidas Shamrock Run. Go! Go! Go!
That's it. Oh, yeah. We got lots and lots.
So we're live at the Shamrock Run with a couple of very festive runners today. We've got Mainstream Media's Angela Blessing doing the interview, and who do we have here as the runners?
Alita.
My name's Ed.
Hi Alita, and hi Ed.
Yeah.
Angela, you had some questions on this very festive day.
The traditional finish line.
We're running the 5K.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you tell me about, like,
There you
how
go.
long
You guys did it.
prepare to do this?
Congratulations.
Well, we
Job well done.
casually run just to keep fit.
You
And
made it.
so
Leprechaun Land. You look so
ran the
good
track
today.
a couple times. We run the
Still
lake
coming,
over by
too.
our house.
There are a lot of them this year.
And how many years have you been doing
Look at all
this?
those people.
This is
Now
actually
the
our
kids look
first.
happy. The parents look tired.
So you're lucky because it's your first time.
Isn't that the way it should be?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
So are you planning to be the first and the first winners? Or
Oh, I wish. Yeah.
Well, with all that stuff on you, there's got to be luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
You put this in anyway, so.
And it's the hair, too. I
it's
like
the
the hair.
hair.
Hi, this is Todd Kimball, the founder of Mainstream Media, and I'm with Mainstream Media's first reporter, the one who got it all started for us, Angela Blessing, and we are outside of the St. Patrick's Day area, outside the Shamrock Run, Angela did a fine job covering the Shamrock Run today. All the costumes, all the runners. And now we're in a little bit quieter space. Angela, certainly a number of people out there today.
Yes, I think there was probably over 1 million.
Well, I'm not sure about 1 million, but I know there were 35,000 runners and probably 10,000 other people just hanging around.
Yes.
So a little short of 1 million, but still a lot of people.
It was close to 1 million.
Close to 1 million. Very successful day here in downtown Portland. What, other than the huge crowd of people, what stands out to you about the day?
The girls that were wearing those tutu green skirts and people that had the makeup on. Some people had the hats on. Other people, some people did stand out with the green hair. I interviewed one guy who was wearing green hair, so.
That was Eddie, I believe, you interviewed today.
Yeah, it was an honor to actually interview him, so. And right over there, Todd, there is a green tutu girl with her tutu. So, it's quite attractive, I guess.
Quite festive here in downtown Portland.
Yeah, Portland's weird.
It is. And well, thank you, Angela. You did a great job today and covered the race all week, actually interviewing Steve Hamilton earlier in the week, and did a fine job covering this great Portland event.
Thank you.